here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Who Won Wednesday. I can feel the poison coursing through my veins, and it will unleash itself all over the wrestling community into the YouTube comments where AEW stands and NXT stands will bicker and fight and say rude things at each other.
I'm going to tell you this right now. The only thing I'm standing right now, the only thing flowing through my veins right now, sweet, glorious
caffeine. How many cups of that is that today so far? Is that 4? Is that number quattro?
It's really none of your business.
Oh my God. All right. Anyways, you know what my business is? Talking about AEW and NXT. Oh boy, another fantastic Wednesday of wrestling.
Wow.
Wednesdays are my jam, Larson.
Wednesdays are a reason to celebrate wrestling. There's wrestling for everybody on Wednesdays, regardless what you like, what you don't like. You can find it Wednesday nights. Reason to celebrate. No toxicity, no poison, just positivity, happiness, and celebration. Coffee.
I can smell the coffee pouring through your skin,
man.
Oh my God. Anyways, good news for NXT this week. With the help of pretty much everybody from main roster, they were able to topple for the first time in total viewership AEW in the ratings. 916,000 people watched NXT. That's up 22% from last week where it was at 750,000. AEW down 7% with 893,000. Last week they were at 957,000.
Strong showings from both. It looks like the NXT finally started chipping away a little bit at AEW's audience, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, kind of interesting. AEW, you know, NXT had as strong an episode as they possibly could pull off.
Pretty much.
And AEW not far behind the million mark that, you know, we're hoping they can get over.
That will eventually be the floor. Yes, that's the hope for both companies.
So.
Ideally, the only way NXT could have topped what they did last night was to have Goldberg come out and have a face-to-face with Matt Riddle.
Oh no! That'd have been something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. That would have topped it. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's take this on a match-by-match basis.
Yeah, especially these matches head-to-head. These matches that kicked off both shows over in All Elite Wrestling. You had Nick Jackson versus Phoenix, and just a fantastic bout. And then over on NXT, you had Becky Lynch open the show. She issued a challenge, Shayna Baszler. Rhea Ripley answered instead. They had a great match. Steve, who won this head-to-head?
Okay, so for my money, it was Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. Obviously the Nick Jackson versus Rey Fenix match, it was a ton of fun. They were doing all sorts of stuff on the ropes that I didn't even know was possible. And so maybe from like an in-ring perspective, what was more fun? That one, because they were doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It was a lot of fun. But in terms of big match feel or big fight feel, whatever, historical significance, because Rhea Ripley is basically the future of the women's division of the entire WWE. Becky Lynch returning to Full Sail, all those things, NXT takes it there.
Tie for me. You mentioned everything about NXT that made it cool, and you're right about that. Nick Jackson versus Phoenix, I feel like this is like a fraction of what they could actually really do. I feel like this is a teaser for, which I hope down the line we get the full-on takeover level match between the two of them, but not in NXT on AEW. So tie, like the entirety of the Nick Jackson Phoenix match, I had a smile on my face the entire time. It was that much fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Becky versus Rhea was a lot of fun too. Rhea is a huge star. She's going to be a massive, massive star. This was kind of one of several star-making performances from Rhea. She's going to have many more in the future. Push for me, tie.
Okay. Next, Britt Baker. She's a dentist.
DMD.
Yes. Versus Hikaru Shida in a really, really fun match.
Yeah, man.
That was really cool. And a surprising outcome to that one, too. Versus Kaylee Ray, the current NXT UK Women's Champion, and Dakota Kai. You go first on this one.
I'm going to give it to Britt versus Shida. Really, really, really good match. They gave it a lot of time. And as you mentioned, the finish was surprising but effective, and I think the right direction to go. Not to take anything away from Kaylee Ray and Dakota Kai. That was a great match too. Just wish it had gone a bit longer.
Yeah, that could be.
That's my only complaint. It was a little short. If it had gone the same length as Britt versus Shida, and they were given more time to tell the story they were telling, that might have gotten the edge.
I'm going to give this one a tie straight up. I don't think there was a better match. I think they were both like really, really terrific matches. really good showcases. I mean, that's what these were basically. They were showcase matches. So I'll give this one a tie. I really think there was one that was significantly better than the other.
Next, over on AEW, we had Chris Jericho drop another great promo with the help of Jake Hager and
kept on trying not to laugh. It was hilarious. It was great.
And speaking of star-making performances, we saw one from Scorpio Sky on the mic. Over in NXT, Ricochet taking on Matthew Riddle.
Oh my goodness. I mean, honestly, for this comes down to one thing. Kona Reeves got shotgun drop kicked off camera or off screen. It was amazing. God, I don't know. This is a really tough one for me. I mean, we get Ricochet versus Riddle, but then you have all sorts of like chaos happening afterwards. I'll give it to that, mainly because like Scorpio Sky, this thing they're just gonna do next week, and it's gonna be an obvious loss. Like, you know how that's gonna go down. So I mean, this is like Ricochet, who's like one of the best of this generation. Matt Riddle, one of the best of this generation, going head to head for the first time seemingly since 2016, where it happened to Evolve. It's Matt Riddle Ricochet.
I'm gonna give this one a tie too. I probably should give it to NXT, but I'll give it a tie because the Jericho stuff was great. Huge fan of Scorpio Sky. Great to see him get the spotlight. And yeah, it might be a short story. Nonetheless, it's going to be huge for Scorpio Sky because down the road, if they revisit it, it might go a different way for Scorpio Sky. He might pick up that title at some point. I hope he does.
Yeah, me too. I think it'd be great. They need a mid-card title.
They do.
That's like, that'll have Scorpio Sky's name written all over it. Another thing that the Jericho,
Darby Allin's.
Another thing that the Jericho promo did was the idea of like either Chris Daniels, who's been around forever, and Case Arian, who's been around forever, also maybe challenging Jericho.
You got that right.
That could be really fun too.
There's a lot of fun stuff that can be had in AEW we haven't seen before.
A lot of possibilities right there.
Exactly.
So that's really cool.
Let's move on though. Over on All Elite Wrestling, we had the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal for that Diamond Ring. On NXT, a heck of a tag match between your Raw Tag Champions War Raiders and the Forgotten Sons. This Battle Royal thing, it didn't, like, the finish didn't even happen. We gotta wait till next week to get that. They're fighting over a diamond ring. I don't know why that's important, so why should I really care who wins? Over on NXT, you had the Raw Tag Champions asserting their dominance once again. But, man, the Forgotten Sons, who'd have thought they would have put forth a performance like that? That was a hell of a match. Hell of a performance by both teams. Tons of cartwheels. I'm going to give the edge to NXT on this one. That was a hell of a match, man.
I didn't realize the Forgotten Sons would have that level of match in them.
They've been practicing the junkyard, I guess.
Yeah, they're great. Doesn't matter. AEW takes it here, man. The Dynamite Dozen. Baby, they're fighting for a diamond ring. That is fantastic. You had a bunch of main eventers mixing it up with a bunch of like people running on TV like Billy Gunn, who all of a sudden is like the Braun Strowman of TV. That didn't make any sense.
He's massive, though, man.
MJF kept on needling him and making sure he didn't get to have fun with Sonny Kiss. And then somebody else, Orange Cassidy, and that was great. And then to conclude things, they didn't even have a finish to the match. Because next week, you're going to get the finish to this match that started this week with MJF and Hangman Page going over. Oh man, give me that. I'll take that cheesy WCW. What are they fighting for? A diamond ring? That's great and terrible all at the same time. I love that kind of stuff. Sometimes, man, the worst wrestling is the best wrestling.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
Dynamite Dozen takes it. That's the winner for me.
Get out of here with that nonsense. Next, over on AEW, XLAX versus Private Party. On NXT, takeover little match between Revival and Undisputed Era. It's kind of a no contest.
What? You're giving this a tie, really?
No, it says it's no contest. NXT gets it.
Okay.
XLAX versus Private Party was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Revival versus Undisputed Era was next level stuff. NXT gets this one.
That was like a dream match. That was like a total dream match. And not to take anything away from XLAX or Private Party, that was a really fun match. Even with the botch that happened, and Private Party picked up the win. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But holy crap! That Revival Undisputed Era match was like...
Here's the thing about that match, about the Revival Undisputed Era. It reminds us how damn good the Revival are and how much they don't get to do on the main roster.
The guy with the beard, Dash Wilder, and then the bald guy, Scott Dawson.
Look at that. You got it right.
Yeah, look at that.
You'll forget it tomorrow.
I agree with you. Yeah, it does. Totally. NXT takes the winner there.
And finally, main event segments for both shows on All Elite Wrestling. Darby Allin, another star-making performance from him, taking on Jon Moxley over on NXT. Adam Cole Bebe versus Dominik Dijakovic in a ladder match.
That's right. Yeah, okay, so I'll give this one I hate doing it. I'm going to give this one a tie, and this is why. The ladder match, here's the thing. The ladder match was obviously designed to, as much as they possibly could, protect both these guys because of the weekend that's coming up. It was on the short side. It wasn't the kind of crazy, like ridiculous ladder match that we would usually get from them. And because the expectations are so high, it underperformed. And that's maybe a terrible thing to say, but on the other side, we had Darby Allin continuing to prove that he is a future star of AEW. You had that insane finish with the paradigm shift off the top rope. He came out in a body bag. Dude, they did everything they possibly could to give this big match feel, and it did. So I'll give this one a tie.
You're failing to mention one huge thing. The brawl that closed the show on NXT.
Oh, man, okay,
that's encapsulated all this.
Keith Lee with the bomb on Drew McIntyre.
Ciampa coming out, face off with Rollins, but not before destroying Adam Cole with the running knee. Adam Cole thinking he's in the ring all by himself.
I tried to give some love to AEW.
No, that's a deserving match. I like the match between Darby Allin and Mox. I love that finish. It was crazy. It blew my mind. That being said, this is the go home for not just War Games, but for Survivor Series from an NXT standpoint. They delivered in getting some excitement up for that show. Far more than main roster is probably going to do on Friday on SmackDown.
That's true.
Because of that. And it was a solid but short ladder match. We got some good storytelling. Cole working over Dijakovic's knee. Cole taking some crazy bumps when he probably shouldn't when he's got two matches back-to-back, 2 consecutive days. And the finish was good. And you had the finish to the whole show, that huge brawl. I don't know, there's like 40 people out there. I don't know how many people. There's a ton. And the way it closed, it was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, I forgot about the closing. You're right. I was just thinking about the match. You had the closing in there. Absolutely, yeah.
NXT totally won this week.
NXT.
They won this week.
Yeah, man. We'll see. Next week they're going to be back to, we'll see if they can carry this momentum on.
That's going to be the
NXT's
key.
Been killing it lately, though.
They have
been killing it.
Wednesdays,
NXT a bit more, though.
Wednesdays is the reason to celebrate wrestling.
I agree, man. It's so fun. It's so much fun. Anyways, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Remember, keep it positive. Just be cool, people.
Yeah.
Till next time. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye. Where's more coffee?
You don't need more coffee. You've had 4 cups already, at least.
Dig some out of the garbage.
Oh, my God.